Hey there, my name's Adam Van Bavel and I'm the Business Development Manager here at O'Neill Interactive. I want to talk to you today about how to maximize the value of LinkedIn and increase your sales. I'm on LinkedIn pretty much every day, multiple times a day, and a lot of people overlook the value of utilizing LinkedIn, not just from a B2B standpoint, but also B2C. So I want to be able to talk to you about that here today, help you stand out, add value, build relationships, and ultimately just sell more. I'm going to start with a quote from someone that I find incredibly impactful, a guy named Seth Godin. He says, if you've never heard of it, if you wouldn't choose it, if you wouldn't recommend it, then there is no brand, at least not for you. So think about that in relation to not just where you work, the product that you sell, but also yourself. That's something that I focus on, always trying to increase what I would call mind share. So if you look at the screen up here, 2 cups of coffee, right? Everyone loves coffee. Maybe you don't. Maybe you're a tea person. Maybe you just don't like to drink hot beverages. But regardless, 2 cups of coffee, and one is different than the other. So you'll see social media is utilized here. We're going to be talking specifically about LinkedIn. But the reason why I wanted to share this is how do you differentiate yourself? And obviously, LinkedIn is one form of many that you can utilize to differentiate yourself. But how do you really tell that story differently? So a real life example would be from the content that I put on LinkedIn. And it's not just the content you put out, it's also the content that you engage with, more importantly, to help build those relationships. But due to that, over the past couple of years, I've had several home builders, O'Neill Interactive. We do website design and development, digital marketing, and we work with home builders. So I've had several home builders reach out to me and ask about our services. So that's important because the cup of coffee on the left there, the orange one, you can see it's kind of old, doesn't get much activity, not much engagement. The reason why is because they're not taking the efforts, my competition, to be seen and add as much value like I am, like O'Neill Interactive is. So using LinkedIn, it's a really easy way, just like this video, to be sharing valuable content, whether it's text, images, videos, but engaging with people, sharing ideas and building those relationships. So again, increase mind share and work to be a magnet. Let people come to you. This is awesome. This is Jeff Turner. Do You Convert? Many of you may be familiar with them. I was at a summit and Jeff was speaking. Jeff's an incredibly intelligent guy. He deals with AI. But what you can see here is in a world where automation, obviously, it's becoming more and more incorporated into our daily lives. People who make genuine connections will be more valuable, not less. So when you focus on that relationship, inherently, you become more valuable to those around you and those who you engage with. So LinkedIn, a lot of people, I think, just see the platform as for job hunting, and that couldn't be further from the truth. It's where the people are. So I want to share this stat with you here. So this is from the Influence Academy, and I'm going to be sharing a lot of things directly from LinkedIn because, again, I want it to be relational. But this is an incredible graph and stat. So 2 professionals join LinkedIn every second. Just let that sink in. But more importantly, in the same time span over the past year, Twitter only gained 9 million users and Facebook has been stagnant relatively, whereas LinkedIn has grown 123 million users. So clearly it's where the people are. You need to know your audience and where they are. It's not always going to be the case, but there's numbers in LinkedIn, and the people that are engaged and active, they're going to see more value. There was also a study done by LinkedIn and Edelman, and in that study, almost 60% of business decision makers said that thought leadership directly led to their awarding of business to an organization. So again, that's B2B. A lot of people watching, you're more B2C, but it's that mindset of being engaged, of adding value. just standing out in a crowded field. Obviously, no matter what it is that you do or you sell, there's competition. So how do you differentiate yourself? You want to build relationships. You obviously want to be seen as a valuable resource by your peers. That can be strategic partnerships if you're in sales and a new home salesperson, but also as buyers. Buyers do research online. So if they're able to find you and see that you're a thought leader or a trusted expert, you're obviously someone that they would hold in a higher light than someone who they aren't able to find that information, or maybe they find bad information. But you want to put yourself out there in the best way possible. And clearly you're doing that offline, so you want to try to replicate that online. More importantly, LinkedIn has incredibly, right now, low saturation, but very high organic reach. So when you think about social platforms, Facebook, you pretty much have to pay to have your connections, see the content that you're sharing. Same thing with Twitter and a lot of the other platforms out there, Instagram. But with LinkedIn, there's a huge opportunity for organic engagement still. So if it is something you're considering, spruce up your profile, and we're going to go through some examples here in a bit and show you how to make the most of having your profile. You can also location and role targeting. If you think about it, when you're looking at a LinkedIn profile, you know where the user is for the most part, and also what their role is. So it kind of allows you that workaround of if you want to, approach and attract certain locations and people's job titles, you're able to do that in LinkedIn. This is an example here of just myself, again, that B2B and B2C. So if you see up there, Patagonia, REI, Toyota, McDonald's, there's no reason if Toyota, which is probably most people, if you think about it, buying a home is the biggest investment in their life usually. Buying a car, another big investment. So Toyota has an ad on LinkedIn. It was specifically targeted to me. Same thing with McDonald's. I like to do things that are focused on social impact. So this is a sustainability ad that I saw. But even in the content, Patagonia and REI, the content that they're sharing, and I included some images here. It's just an opportunity for me as someone who supports them to learn more about, what it is that they do and appeal to me. So here's another example. As soon as this loads here, and this is, real life example of adding content that provides value to all those in your network. This is, again, an example of where that last slide came from. You can see 53 people reacted to it in some way, shape, or form. There were 23 comments. I was able to tag people, use hashtags, so we'll get into that also a little bit more later. But when you look at this is great. These are the people that I talk to, frequently in my job. These are clients, potential clients, strategic partners, and all adding value to the conversation based off of one post. And when you can replicate that, you can see very quickly how that begins to add value. Just having that opportunity for organic is incredible, and you don't find that on other platforms. There's also an opportunity too to DM people. So DM, direct message. Another great example are local at state HBA or Building Industry Association, Maryland Building Industry Association. We had a chili cook-off, and that chili cook-off, we were looking for some silent auction gifts and chili cook-off. So we thought, okay, we want to have spices. Well, McCormick, right down the street here, the world headquarters from us in Hunt Valley, Maryland, I reached out to an individual there, both through email and through LinkedIn. And on LinkedIn, the message was responded to pretty quickly. And that's how we had that communication chain. So it's another reason why LinkedIn and just social in general is a valuable opportunity. A lot of times you think, I'll call someone, I'll email them. Well, again, those channels are pretty saturated. So if you can think of roundabout ways to be connected to individuals, to get that opportunity for them to respond to you. I sent them a message on LinkedIn. I sent them an email. Didn't respond to the email ever. Maybe it went to a spam. I don't know. but we ended up working together and we got things for the chili cook-off. McCormick got exposure out of it. We were happy to have, great product and offer that. So accessibility is another key component of utilizing LinkedIn and messaging. So talking about, really the why and the how, I wanted to show you some how of, very specific actionable details of how you can utilize LinkedIn specifically so that you can add more value. I'm going to show you again here an interview. This is from 2017. So this interview is 2 years old. This is myself and Quint Lears. Quint Lears has just a tremendous, if you visit newhomesales.com, archive of valuable interviews from the home building industry if you haven't heard of him. So check out newhomesales.com for more interviews. But this particular interview from 2017. So the reason I'm sharing that is when it was recorded, I mentioned hashtags and emojis as ways to, hashtags are a resource. They're a great way to find content that's either valuable to you or just, seeking out specific things. And then emojis are more eye-catching. So, it's a visual cue that you can draw into. So hashtags specifically, in new home industry, we have broad ones like home builders, home building, new home sales, new home marketing, have skilled trades, construction. I'm an advocate for the skilled trades gap. So just talking about skilled trades related content organizations that are out there, tag in LinkedIn or Facebook, Twitter, wherever, but skilled trades, and I can find a lot of content around that. So it's good because I can engage with it, I can share it, and I can contact those people that also have an interest in skilled trades. So industry specific for groups, a little different. You have National Association of Home Builders and the Young Professionals, which I'm on that committee. So NAHBYP, you can use it for finding events like the International Builder Show. So hashtag IBS 2020, Pacific Coast Builders Conference, DYC Summit, the Sales Leadership Summit. So all of those things, when you have an event, generally you'll notice there's a hashtag. So using that's great because other people at that event, if you're sharing it, it's a great way to easily connect with them. You can refer to it after the fact, and you can always just see who's been sharing content around something that you also have an interest in. So it's a really incredibly simple way. And then personally, you think of, for myself, In It to Do Good is a hashtag I use on LinkedIn. So LinkedIn has a campaign called In It Together, and what are you in it for? I'm all about social impact again. So I'm in it to do good. I'm always sharing content in and around the home building industry of other builders and the work they're doing in their community to improve the areas where they build in. So it's not just building a home where you live, it's the communities where you live. So I'm sharing that type of information, but also, from the broad standpoint, social impact, social good. So anything that is of interest to you, either what you're currently doing or want to be doing, hashtags are a valuable resource. So we talked about emojis as well, and I have some favorites. I love clapping because I love celebrating, people's wins. I also love handshake. So in my LinkedIn, we'll see this later, symbolizing relationships. Light bulb, like a thought just occurred, a rocket, you're taking off, and a trophy because you're winning at whatever it is that you're doing. So again, they're visual cues. They're meant as you're scrolling through a feed to be able to really put something out there, visually connect with someone quickly, but don't overuse them. Because if, I'm not going to name names here, but maybe I get texts from my mom that have 75 emojis in it, and I'm not sure what exactly is going on there. But you just want to be relevant. So relevance is key. Put them in here and there, make sure there's a connection. You can see here in the help me, lots of emojis, reactions, depending on the channel that you're using. But emojis are another strong way to be able to gain mind share. So also video. Video is huge on LinkedIn right now. Video has been huge as a form of content for many years now, and increasingly so. You look at TikTok and how that's taken off all through the use of video. So Video can be really intimidating. This video right now, I might make some mistakes, have some pauses. It's okay. If you want to edit that out, that's up to you. This is being shot with a lavalier microphone, my cell phone, and a little tripod. So it doesn't have to be an incredibly intense production value. Get comfortable with it. If you're not comfortable behind the camera at all, there's a lot of growth and discomfort, but if that's not your thing, maybe find someone else in your organization who does like that and work together to be able to share your ideas, but take advantage of that. So this is Julia, who is our social media and content manager at O'Neill Interactive. I just said Julia. There's a mistake for you, Julie Rogers. But in this video, she has a great example, I'll hit play here, of how not to be awkward on camera. We've got a blog series that we're writing about, so hopefully I don't look like that right now. But this video is going to be going on LinkedIn. It's just another example of how you can utilize video content to build awareness, to build engagement, to provide value after the fact. So make sure that you check out that blog post, and please reach out if you have questions around video. Jump in here. Some other things, tips and hacks for your LinkedIn profile specifically. So if I were to give you a bulleted list, a custom URL, and I'm going to be showing examples of all these here in just a minute, but you want to make sure that your URL is customized, use diverse content, and in that, the 80-20 rule. So you definitely don't want to be just selling. The phrase social selling, you want to be essentially providing value 80% of the time. So for me, that's sharing the work other builders are doing, sharing work strategic partners are doing, just really being able to provide value to my network. And then every so often talking about a really exciting new product that we have, or a great success story from a home builder, from their website, or a digital marketing initiative that we've done for them. So just remember that 80-20 rule. Text, photos, video, audio, hashtags, emojis, so diversity in that content again. Your profile photo, so that's huge. You want to have a current photo, so current. Current could be a year or two old, but I don't want to see photos from the 80s of you if that's your LinkedIn profile or anywhere online. It's just not building, a genuine relationship. It's kind of like catfishing. So if you're not familiar with that is, you can Google it. But, you want to show something so that people can see you at an event and recognize you, so that it's actually the you of now and not 20 years ago. It should be professional, and that doesn't need to be something where you spend a lot of money to hire a photographer. Again, you could use a tripod in your phone and a simple clean backdrop and take a picture of yourself and edit it, and very easily have a great photo to use. But you definitely want something that's current and professional, and also a solid background. It makes it a lot easier to focus on your face. You want it up close and tight. Again, just to be something that's recognizable. A ring, so we'll get to that. And that's a little hack of standing out in the feed. Show you how to utilize that. You probably might already have noticed that, but definitely anything you're doing, if you are active, you want to be able to provide as much value as possible. So that's one aspect of a photo. The other aspect is your cover photo. So a cover photo, you want to be sharing an event, or you want to be sharing logos or social proof. So maybe icons of, if you're into speaking or you're an author, where you've been published. So you want to be able to showcase that and take advantage of that real estate in your LinkedIn profile. Use media. So you definitely want to be using media. You definitely want to be using articles as well, and events. So this is one other example, just really quickly, of video. So this is Raquel. Raquel shared, she's on LinkedIn, and she shared a bunch of amazing videos around the 22 push-up challenge. But really quickly, before I jump into some of the media and articles and events specifically, this is a great success story where she said a veteran, so the 22 push-up challenge was around veterans and mental health, suicide awareness. And she actually got to meet this individual. They came up to her and they knew her through watching that video. So pretty powerful example of how you're able to utilize not only the content you're putting out there, but video specifically to connect with people. So getting back to other forms of media, professional builder. I was nominated last year, incredibly honored for that, for the 40 Under 40 award through Professional Builder, and I was chosen. So I want people to know that are in the home building industry. And right now, this is listed and it's easily accessible in my profile. So you want to make sure that you have different forms of media highlighting your accomplishments, things that you're proud of, things that are relevant in the industry that you work in, so that people can see them, make that connection, and a bell goes off in their head, or maybe they find it valuable. Whatever it is, you want to give yourself as much opportunity as possible to receive that recognition. And the 40 Under 40 submissions are now open. So make sure you check that out. And if you know someone that's making an impact in the home building industry, make sure you go there to Professional Builder and nominate them. So it's not just media. Again, you want to have articles. An article is more of, you think of posts on LinkedIn, and posts, they're individual. Well, articles, it's just like writing a blog post, but it lives on LinkedIn, to oversimplify it. So this is, if you've been to the International Builder Show, a recap I wrote last year around the show. It's pretty long. It's my own personal take on the show, what's valuable, talking about lots of things here that are home building industry specific. So Zillow, some of the people there that were shooting video a year ago and the value they saw from it. The NAHB HQ, where the Next Lounge is for the young professionals, and NAHB headquarters. There's a nice shot of it there, talking about Young Professionals Committee, relationships, my buddy Jonathan Andrews with Hornet Homes, Mike Griffith with HPS. And as you go through here, this was a great opportunity for me to talk about everyone, that was at the show that I didn't get to engage with, to talk about content that mattered to me, so that I could hopefully take advantage of the people that were there and that type of experience. And if you look down here at the bottom, there are 28 comments, 50 some people. It's been seen over 500 times and shared 8 times. So writing these articles is another great way to show your thought leadership, to show how you contribute to the industry. It just takes time. And if you don't like writing, don't do it. But hopefully these are some things that you can find that are valuable, that you can take advantage of, that maybe you're not currently. So this is super cool. I'm really excited about this. LinkedIn just allowed events to be shared. Now, they aren't for pages yet. You'll be able to create them through pages eventually, and a little bit more about that later. But for right now, this was an event. I'm an IBS, the International Builder Show ambassador, and I created an event through LinkedIn for the show. This is amazing. Literally no promotion around this so far, and over 150 people have said that they're going to be going to the show. And you can see here, Linda and Chris, it's an opportunity for people to be sharing their past experiences about the show, what they find valuable, what they're looking forward to this year. So it's a really great way to, before the event, during the event, and after the event, strengthen the opportunity. So, there have been some examples that I've seen recently of salespeople who are sharing open houses on LinkedIn. Of a photographer who actually took our headshots, Vince Lupo. He's having an event coming up, and he shared an event on LinkedIn. And Vince is a great example, actually, because Vince hadn't been using LinkedIn and just recently has, and he's already taking advantage of brand new features like that. So make sure you're using events. Now, while you're at the event, if you check out hashtag LinkedIn ICMYI, so in case you missed it, I've shared a couple things there from the past, and I'll look to keep sharing more. But the nearby feature too. So on your phone, when you're at an event, if you go to LinkedIn and you go into your settings, your profile, you'll see something. And when you go to LinkedIn, in case you missed it, and you see that post, you'll get the line by line details of how you do it. But you turn that on, and it's going to find people that also have it turned on nearby you. So that's where the name comes from. But these are all little ways that you can add value to these experiences, and you're taking something that's online and bringing it offline. There's a lot of power there. So LinkedIn is a Microsoft. If you're not familiar, it's always in beta. And there's things that have come out for pages like suggesting or recommending to your contacts that now I've had access to that, and then now I don't. You might have access to events, you might not, other things like that. So just always be dabbling. And if you're going to commit to LinkedIn, you want to make sure you're maximizing the opportunity there. So I'm going to get into a couple real life examples here. And you might be connected to some of these people already, you might not. If you aren't, definitely recommend reaching out, connecting with them. But this is David Bellman. David Bellman is also part of the NAHB Young Professionals. He's involved with an incredible amount of home building, specific organizations. But David, you can see here, one of the first things that catches you is this is just so cool. So he's got a backsplash here, and you can see all the things he wants to be known for in the tiles. So he's a home builder. He's got his name on the cutting boards. So I just thought that was incredibly creative and a great use of that cover photo again. So highlighting that. Aside from being a home builder and an active, David also has a podcast. So you can see Bellman Homes. He's a director with NAHB. He's got his podcast on here, Home Building Hero. So these are all great examples of ways that you can make your profile stand out. Go over a couple others here. So this is Phil Crone. So David is a home builder. Phil is an attorney and also the executive officer at the Dallas Builders Association. You can see here, you've got the house being framed out. So visually, I make a connection already of what it is Phil does to some extent. Phil has awesome videos called Phil's 5. And let's see here. So I click on see all activity and I go into his posts, and I'll be able to see some of the video content he's producing there. And he's been doing this, I don't know, for a while now. I've been paying attention to it. I saw Phil when I was in New Orleans for the fall leadership meeting. And I was like, hey, nice to meet you in person. I've been following you on LinkedIn for a while because of your videos. So great example here. Here's Phil's 5. And that was actually from an event in Texas. Another example here. So, a lot of you new home salespeople, you're watching this, you want to figure out how you can get value out of it. So I don't know Jessica, but she is from Maryland. I do know that. Used to work with a good friend of mine, and she is a new home salesperson. So this is a great example. She's got the community she's selling in, so a visual connection right out of the gate. She's got her hashtag that she's created is Call Quig. So Jessica Quigley, Call Quig, the queen of K-Bar Ranch. So that's awesome branding right there. And she's sharing content around the community, around the area where the community is located. So if I'm a buyer, right, or if I'm a prospect and I happen to come to K-Bar Ranch or find the website, or Jessica's reached out to me somehow, and now I want to learn more, I'm going to go online, I'm going to do some research. Well, I'll find this profile. And I tell you what, if it's Jessica and someone else who doesn't have a fully complete LinkedIn profile, I'm really impressed when I see this. Whereas the other person, maybe there's nothing to be found there. So she's standing out, she's jumping up ahead, and now you just have to build nice homes at the right price point where I want to buy, and pretty much sold a home right there. So it's a great example. Quint, again, we mentioned earlier on, newhomesales.com. So Quint, great job branding. He wants people to be going to his website, seeing the video content that he's sharing. And you can see right here, Quint is a man of many skills. So creative director, newhomesales.com. He's a realtor with RE/MAX. He is with Hakes Brothers, and he's been there for over 10 years, just crushing it in his market. He's a speaker. He's actually speaking at the sales rally at the International Builder Show this year. So you want to, again, take every opportunity to be able to call out who it is that you are, what you do, and what separates you from everyone else that's out there in the platform. And then this is my profile. So don't want to talk about myself too much in this, just some quick examples. I talked about the ring in your profile photo earlier. So this ring, it helps stand out and draws you in right when you see my profile. But when you're looking through your feed, particularly on mobile, smaller screen size, lots of content, this helps pop out my profile. So when I have a post, aside from the content that's there, I'm just giving myself one more opportunity to be seen above everyone else because of this. The LinkedIn tip here, you can see the cover photo. This cover photo, this is a tip that I was giving talking about the nearby feature that I mentioned earlier at a United Way event. So that United Way event, you can see here hundreds of people in a room, and they're looking at their phones, looking how to turn it on so that they could connect with other people that care about social good and social impact. So that was a really fun opportunity for me. The handshake signifying a relationship, emojis, so, new homes, and then a computer here. That's what we do. So I'm letting people know home builder, website design, digital marketing, new home sales, computers, lead generation, user experience, and conversion focused. Chart up. So we're going to help you sell more homes more easily. And then again, in it to do good. So that's my hashtag on LinkedIn. And as you go down here, I have articles. This is really cool. So if you do have control of your company's page, we have a motion graphic. So this is just a GIF, and you can upload it to LinkedIn. So when I'm looking in a feed again, O'Neill Interactive stands out above other companies because we have a motion graphic as our logo, which is really cool. Just highlighting all of my experiences, content, media, again, that's related, education, licenses, volunteer experience, skills and endorsements, recommendations, and then accomplishments, and interests. These are all things that I do that separate me from everyone else who does what I do. So if you're going to take the time to have a LinkedIn profile and you want to take advantage of it, hopefully those are some tips that you'll be able to utilize. Last thing I just want to end here with is, again, from my buddy Quint. This was from that video, and just kind of drawing it back earlier to, AI and relationships adding value. So everything is relationships, and that doesn't matter if it's personal or professional. If you care about genuinely the conversations you have, those that you work with, those that you live with, those that, are part of your community or your tribe, it's about giving back. It's not just a one-way street. And when you're able to do that, you will find value, and you will see more business come your way. You will see more opportunity come your way, and you will be more fulfilled and more happy because of that mindset. So I just encourage you, if you're using LinkedIn, the 80-20 rule, share valuable content. Please reach out to me if you have any additional questions. I'd love to take some time and help you if you're willing to commit to make the most out of being on LinkedIn. But learn the platform, get creative, accelerate your career. There's some bonuses that I have that when we share this about branding and how to utilize LinkedIn for your brand, about video. LinkedIn has 2 blogs, a sales and a marketing. So definitely want to make sure you see those resources. And a message from my friend Erica at LinkedIn is also, again, about events coming soon for pages. So if you do have a company page and you want to share events, you'll soon be able to do that from LinkedIn. But I appreciate the time and the opportunity. Thank you so much, Kimberly, for having me here today. Hey, get out there and crush it on LinkedIn. Thanks for watching.